You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juan.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leck.
And together, we are...
Rope Break.
Thank you so very much to every single one of our members of the family. Thank you for all the views. Thank you for all the subscriptions. Thank you to all new, present, now future subscribers. Thank you so very much. Let's get Jean-Paul. Let's get all the thanks before we start with Monday Night Raw. But we hope that all of you are doing fine. We're still in the isolation. Hey, let's keep the faith up. And we want to say very quick thank you to Glenn Davidson, Mark Gargozo, and also to our godfather, or our first interview, our man, Cha-Cha Charlie. Thank you so much. We're doing Cha-Cha for you. That's right. Because of we had a really great interview, great time, a great person. And the future, I will say the present future of professional wrestling, the unbreakable Lexi Gomez. We had a wonderful interview with her. We say hi also to her. Thank you again. Please check it out, guys. It was a great conversation. We possibly, I will say, Jean-Paul, we're possibly seeing that will be the woman that will dethrone Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, let's say 37. There you go. Or 38. Let's do 38. Let's give it another year. So we're going to do that. And also we have a great interview with Brady Hicks. He was a professional writer, I will say, wrestling writer. And he's the host of In the Room for the VOC Nation. Also, we have a great interview with him. We got to learn a lot from him, all the experiences in wrestling. So thank you so very much for that. And don't forget to check that out. Jean-Paul Eck, what are your thoughts about Monday Night Raw?
Another edition of Monday Night Raw, and how are we going to start off the wrestling week? Is it going to be legit? We're going to get some interesting storylines? Or are we going to get, a boring, lackluster show that really only had one decent match and, didn't really do much to excite me for Money in the Bank? I think we're going to get that. So, yeah. I mean, to me, like I said, they really didn't do much. It was, we had 3 qualifying matches for Money in the Bank. And this Money in the Bank, I feel, is going to be, they're going to gear it more towards a cinematic. I think that they received more positive feedback from the cinematic matches they did at WrestleMania than they did negative, for The Undertaker, Last Man Standing, and, and then recently they had the Tommaso Ciampa, John Cena with the Fiend.
Gargano.
Yeah, so they do these kind of where it's more like a movie fight scene almost, and I feel like they're going to do that with Money in the Bank. So, with that being said, I really don't want to see a Money in the Bank match in that fashion. I would have rather had it just been in a ring, a ladder match, and it would have been legit. But since they're doing that and going in that direction, now I'm not really excited. So all these qualifying matches, I really didn't, invest myself into like I normally would. I was like, I don't really care because, but now at least we kind of see who's really going to be in the match, so we can kind of start picking who we think's going to win. But, not really looking as forward to the pay-per-view as much as I was maybe a week or so ago.
Well, they're going to have to climb the corporate ladder. So that's something, I guess.
That's an impossible challenge, at least recently.
Especially if you work in WWE.
Yeah.
It's very
unless your name is Zion or Burner.
Remember, they're not allowed to mention him.
Yeah, I didn't. I just, hey,
that's right.
Hey, I just sang the music. I'm not saying no names. I'm not,
I don't even know who that is, but it's absolutely true. And the one thing, Paul, is okay, we said it's confirmed now. McIntyre is going to be defending the WWE Championship against Seth Rollins, but for nothing. And I didn't like this mainly because the champion is challenging the challenger. I'm like, okay, is that how it's supposed to be? Because McIntyre is I think you deserve a championship match. I think that you have all the accolades. You're one of the most decorated stars. And we're gonna oversee everything because you haven't really lobbied for a championship match. Yeah, but I'm gonna give it to you. So I really didn't like that.
That's what I mean. You could have the whole dynamic of it. Like I said, at WrestleMania, they had all the heels lose, and they really screwed themselves because it's how do you have a baby face. Who's he gonna go against? You had all the heels lose, so there's nobody for him to really challenge. And to me, I would have had Seth Rollins come out, do the same thing. Kevin Owens, where's Kevin Owens? Maybe it's travel issues. Maybe that's the reason
It
with
might
everything
be.
going on that they kind of have to just use Seth Rollins, maybe because of where he lives, his location, and everything. But Seth Rollins should have came out, challenged McIntyre. Kevin Owens then should have came out and been like, dude, I beat you at Mania, blah, blah, blah. And then maybe they have another match, to decide the number one contender, because technically that match wasn't a number one contenders match. So they could have another match because they love doing WrestleMania rematches. And then you could have had Buddy Murphy screw over
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens. And then I would have booked it where the last, I would have, not did Rey Mysterio or do Rey Mysterio versus MVP again or somebody like that. And I would have put Kevin Owens in Money in the Bank. I would have had him beat Murphy to go in Money in the Bank. Then he could have got his revenge. And then, who knows, if you do Rollins and McIntyre, that would be something that Kevin Owens could cash in. Not that I want McIntyre to lose it, but at least it all kind of flows and makes more sense than having the guy who just lost challenge the champion. Or not even that, the champion, like you said,
The champion challenges the challenger.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like it's just because they kind of booked themselves into a hole, and they're like, so 90% of our fans don't pay attention anyway, so...
Pretty much, and that's why we're going to start with Monday Night Raw. Like I said, McIntyre came out and he's got in that promo. Pretty much he said that. He said, I'm going to give you the championship match, but before he kept going, Selena Vega stepped in, and Selena Vega says that, Drew McIntyre is you're really invested in, Money in the Bank, but you don't even, care about what's going to happen this week, and you're going to be facing Angel Garza. So, she's, saying all of that. It's your memory's a little short and everything, but then she gets... he's attacked by Andrade. Cien Almas attacks from the back, but then McIntyre, all of a sudden, he's Super McIntyre, and he hits the Claymore kick on Andrade, and then Selena is saying to both Austin Theory and Angel, he's come on, go help him out. 3 against 1, 3 against 1, and they're I don't want to get the Claymore. So he's okay. Then they don't do anything. They don't move anything at all. So then McIntyre starts 3, 2, 1, and another Claymore kick for Cien Almas, and he hits him out of the ring, and that's how the first segment ends. I will say, my thing again, why the champion is challenging the challenger. That's my big issue right there. It should have been Rollins coming out and being I won a championship match, although I lost or anything. It's give me a little bit more explanation to it, because I see there's a lot of logic gaps. But like you said, if the situation with Kevin Owens is, not letting him come to work because of where he lives, I understand. But it also, it shouldn't have been Rollins for me.
Yeah. No, I mean, they definitely could have done other things too. Even if you can't do Kevin Owens, you have other options. There's other heels on the roster. You could do, I mean, I know he lost to Aleister Black, but you could have done, you could have even thrown together a number one contenders match with some guys, to challenge McIntyre, done something, because, you're not going to give the belt back to Seth Rollins. So clearly McIntyre is going to win this, or he's going to get out of this somehow with the title and move on. So it could have really been anybody. It didn't need to be Seth Rollins. You could have saved that feud for later on down the line, built Rollins back up again. But so I agree with you on that. McIntyre shouldn't be making challenges when he's the champion. And also, why is Angel Garza and Andrade and Austin Theory now? To me, they look like a bunch of losers.
Yeah. And the other two is not even afraid of McIntyre. I'm he's 3 against 1 and you still don't want to do it?
Yeah.
Come on.
And then what we saw in the main event, I mean, how good did Angel Garza look there? Not really.
Another one. Yeah, another one. Not done. So let's move on, Mr. Eck. Money in the Bank qualifying match, Austin Theory against Aleister Black. The whole show kind of surrounded, if you think about it, in these three guys, Andrade, Austin Theory, and Garza.
Yeah, Selena Vega's group. Yeah, they were kind of
Selena Vega pretty much is the whole time in the show. It's every hour she's 3 or more segments.
Well, I'd rather have her on commentary than the Street Profits.
We're gonna go to that, because that was terrible. But Selena absolutely looking gorgeous, and I know why they keep her. That's the reason for, at least for anybody to watch that show. Aleister Black can agree to that. So tell me about this match, Aleister Black against Austin Theory. I will say like really good match. Austin Theory is still you will say young, but hey, he can give you like the match that you need to make sure that like Black looks good.
Oh yeah, we were saying this. Even in when he was in NXT for a little bit, he felt like he was in NXT for a blink of an eye. The matches against Roderick Strong was legit. Against Prince Pretty was really good as well. So it was like this guy can work. He's legit. And then on the main roster, it's the same thing. He can kind of work and wrestle well with anybody. And the right guy won here in Aleister Black. It was legit, but again, like he loses, and I don't really get his inclusion, or involvement in this group. Like, yeah, I understand Andrade was hurt and then couldn't wrestle at WrestleMania, so then he filled in. But then after that, they should have like kicked him out. He seems kind of like the weird odd man out. Maybe it's because he's white, he's not Latino. I don't know, but he just doesn't feel like he belongs in the group. You know what I mean? So they
Maybe I
should.
do belong in the group.
Yeah,
Maybe I
yeah,
could.
they got. But I'd rather have you on the show with me than him. So.
Thank you
You're,
very
you're
much.
not
I
you're not you're not
appreciate
le- you're
the
not leaving. You're
I
staying here.
appreciate the support. I appreciate your confidence. So I will not do that. But like you said, good, and I really appreciate the interaction that Selena Vega and Aleister Black had because you
Oh
just see that
yeah,
like their
yeah.
husband and wife, and she's like, oh, play fair. What the hell are you doing? You suck. But your tattoos like look god awful and everything, and he was like, it's like, oh, we'll discuss that, after the
Yeah,
match.
on,
So that was
on the
really cool.
car at the car ride home.
Yes, when we
Yeah.
do ride along,
Mm.
when that will happen, it will be cool. But in the end, the right man won. We both said this last week, so cool stuff. Like always, like we're gonna go to like the last sequences of the match, but black mass and done. But good match from both guys. Austin Theory, I think, Jean Paul, because how young he is like okay, you're gonna start, being like kind of the loser, so to say, loser. But hey, is our the
Mm.
vote of confidence is like we put you in the show. I mean, you're gonna job to a lot of guys, but give me a year and a half, or not even that, like a few months. Then we're gonna give you your own push. So I guess
Mm.
at least get
Oh,
the
oh, I could see that too. And also because like the guy's what, 21, 23. What's he gonna do? Go in here and get wins over like the Street Profits, get wins over Aleister Black? No way. Not when you've invested so much time and money and momentum and everything into pushing these other guys. You're not gonna have this guy Austin Theory, who yeah, he's legit. He's not gonna go over these guys like you said. He's gonna do the job right now. But clearly they're putting him in these high profile matches, and his day will come at some point.
yeah, exactly. So for now, he's like jobbing a little bit. So like Theory's counter Alistair Black and lands a super kick before hitting a brainbuster for a near fall. Then Theory talks some trash but gets punched, and Black hits like a switch knee to the face. I love the knee. He
Mm.
does a good knee. Black like really delivers good knees, and then he's raging for like a German suplex, and then he earns like a near fall, and then Alistair lives Theory for like a black mass, and like Selena's like, oh my god, he's about to do that, but then he kind of like counters, he avoids that, and then he hits him, but then Black like his Theory's running towards like Alistair, and Alistair just turns around, hits it, black mass, 1, 2, 3, done. We have Alistair is like
So
advancing to the
now,
next round of so he's going to buy money in the
yeah, if you ask me, this is the winner. This is the winner of Money in the Bank right here. This is if you want to do the cringy bullshit, this is Mr. Money in the Bank 2020.
I can see that. I
For
can see
me, I don't know who else, because, if it's me personally, who I'd want to see win, I love Rey Mysterio. That's obvious. Every time he's on the show, I'm always talking about him for in the positive aspect, one of the better matches. I'd love to see him win it. But I mean, if you think about it from the storyline aspect, he's old. He doesn't have that much time left on his career unless he signed some new deal that nobody's really talking about. They're obviously going to push other guys, so I don't see him winning it. I'd love to see Apollo Crews win it. Spoiler, he beat MVP. Or
that.
Aleister Black, as MVP called him, because MVP doesn't even know who the hell he's wrestling. But Apollo Crews could be another one who I could see winning it, just to like really push him. But if he wins it, to me, then he's Baron Corbin 2.0. He's going to cash in and lose. Because I could
Yeah,
totally see if for some reason, yeah, I'll go back to the thing with McIntyre, losing the belt right away. You could totally do it where Seth Rollins, oh, heel stomp, oh, done, stomp again, oh, he's gonna pin him. Black's music hits, come down, Black mass on Rollins, and done. You could definitely do something like that, but that's the one thing I don't, WWE, they never like to have their Money in the Bank holders, at least recently, hold the briefcase for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know if you are picking up on that trend, but I feel like nowadays, besides Carmella, she's like the last one that I remember. I feel like when they win it, they cash in right away.
They're doing that a lot, especially
Maybe
when the
maybe
women
not.
they've done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe not the same pay per view, but usually it's like right away. Like Braun Strowman won, and he pretty much announced his match beforehand. He didn't even make it a surprise. He was
Yeah.
being all babyface about it. Brock Lesnar was walking around like it's a boombox, and it's like, yeah, we're just gonna challenge you again. It's like the same thing. It's like there's no surprise. That's what
Yeah.
I want to see. I want to see where there's like the surprise, and I feel like with Aleister Black, it could really work out for getting him over.
It's a good opportunity to get him over, to get into the next step, which is like why, like Byron Saxton is interviewing him, and he's pretty much saying like, what's the plan for this year's unique Money in the Bank match, like that will take place on the WWE headquarters in Connecticut. So Alistair says he doesn't know much about corporate life, and they will probably want him to cover his tattoos, but he's going to make sure every floor of the building will be personal hell for his opponents. So like good stuff on Black. Now
And
we
now
move.
this is one thing too. I don't want to go too long in this, but like it's like, oh, the corporate Money in the Bank and everything. Like that's the one thing that I don't like about WWE is that everything has to seem like they make it fake. Where like at least when AEW they present stuff that it's like real. Like we actually respect the sport of wrestling. We take it seriously. We take it legit. WWE's like everything is a joke. They probably told Aleister Black, oh, it's the corporate Money in the Bank, so make a joke about having to cover up your tattoos because that's not professional. Like, why would he be saying that in his promo? Like, to me, I'm like, this stuff is so, like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but when I hear that little stuff, it, like, takes me out of it. I'm like, this isn't Aleister Black cutting this promo. This is somebody telling him what to say.
Yes, yes, and see that's what takes away that like you're not able to develop your own character. So I
Yeah.
agree with that, like on that with you. So like Charlie Caruso is interviewing Shayna Baszler, and she's asking her if she went too far last week when she stomped on Sarah Logan's arm. So Baszler laughs and says, "No, all she did was like break Logan's arm." So she has like a quick match with like a Indy Hartwell, enhancement talent because they need those like talents from like probably NXT, like some talents from over there. So it was just like a really quick match. Pretty much Shayna ends up doing the exact same spot, like
Yep.
stomps on the arm and everything, and the match is over. And then she put the arm in between a ladder. She grabbed a ladder. She put like the girl's arm, Hartwell arms, on the ladder in between, and then boom, she kicked the ladder and like she was like, "Oh my God, he's done!" Ow! So
Yep.
like absolutely like devastating. So they're saying that's how they're selling Shayna in that like, oh, now she's breaking arms. I will say so. Good stuff. Am
Yeah,
I
I mean, like you
excited
said,
yet?
like,
No,
yeah.
because she lost to Becky. So
Yeah. To me, this is the Fiend. I don't know. I don't know who books this. I mean, I do know who books this, but I'm like, I don't know who thinks that like every single time it's like, oh, let's have a person who is like has a lot of momentum. Let's have them lose, and then they'll win the next pay per view. Why take 4 steps backwards to only take 1 step forward? You still got to
yeah,
make up those other 3 steps. Like having Shayna lose her first major match is it's completely drink. It's like, oh, like, am I gonna be champion? Like,
no,
no. Yeah,
no,
it's like,
no.
can I have
And
the belt?
it's like you're trying to make me like again think that like she's a winner, and when she's not, she
Yeah.
lost to Becky, and there's no mention of Becky either.
Mhm.
There was no mention of Becky on this show, so that's what I'm like. Hey, at least it's like, hey, if I win money or when I win Money in the Bank, I'm gonna challenge you, Becky. You screw me with that opportunity. I'm gonna challenge you again, and this time is for real. I'm gonna win
Yeah, I
a
would
piece
have
of
did it. I would
Never.
have did it where she had Hartwell's arm in the ladder, and then Becky could have came out to make the save, and she could have tried to clock Shayna from behind. Shayna could have like ducked it, got her in a submission, been choking her out, and then Becky like escapes and backs away and looks scared, and then Shayna could be like, "Yeah, that's right. Like, you don't want none of this, bitch." Like, have Shayna look dominant, and Becky kind of like retreating and look scared to show like, oh, maybe Becky was lucky at Mania when she kind of like reversed the submission and got the pin. Have it,
Exactly. It's like, yeah, like do some justice to Shayna, and they're
yeah,
not doing that, at least for me. But Jean Paul, like quick, like again, we move quick from that, and now we go to like a tag team match that really didn't do anything for us. Why? Because these guys lost last week. these guys like well, they're good. They're really like talented, both of them. They're
Hmm.
put in a tag team that could potentially be really a legit idea, but unfortunately they have to win two jobbers. So
Hmm.
it's Cedric
The
Alexander and
the
Ricochet,
one and only.
and only I don't know how even that applies anymore. But Shane
It
Thorne
does
and
not.
Brandon Beck, that pretty much they've been the enhancement talents for all this time that we have, like with the pandemic and everything. So another
Hmm.
quick match, it was just done to make them look good because of the thing
Yeah,
that happened last
yeah.
week
Like you
with
said, you
Tiger
gotta
Bay.
do. Now it's not with the same two or the same four, contenders, but it's 50-50 booking with the team of Ricochet and I almost said Aleister Black, Ricochet and Cedric Alexander. You know, you have them lose to the Viking Raiders or, they lose to this team and it's like, oh, okay, they're not quite at the top yet, but we don't want them to be at the bottom, so we're gonna have them keep beating jobbers and enhancement talents and this and that. And it's like it's because they don't want to push these guys in a singles role, but there's no I don't care who you are, I don't care how prejudiced you are, Vince McMahon. There's no way that you can look at these two guys and be like, I can't use them because look how talented they are. There's
Yeah,
no way you can just leave those guys in catering. Even if you don't like them, if you don't think they have a personality, if you think they're awful on the, during a promo on the mic, there's no way you can't use them just because of how good they are. So that's kind of why I feel like they have them in this tag team, and they're like, well, we don't really know what to do. But at some point, I think they're going to break through the ceiling. And I mean, the Viking Raiders, as talented as they are, I think if you gave this team like a tag team match, like a title match, they could have a fantastic match with the Street Profits. Because
yeah. Imagine
as
like how
annoying as
talented.
I was gonna say, as annoying as they were on commentary tonight, the Street Profits can put on a good match. So
I mean, it's like they're wrestlers, so stick to wrestling. You have
yeah,
no future at
yeah,
being in commentary. But
yeah.
let's go back to Ricochet and Cedric Alexander because Ricochet hits a standing shooting star press, following by like a tilter, the world the DDT that like he does on to Bank. Then Cedric Alexander gets the tag, and then he hits the recall into the lumber check for the win. 1, 2, 3. Like I said, very quick. Again, like you 50-50 booking. They lost last week. This week they get the win. So at least we think that like they're kind of memorable. So like they're trying to do something with these guys. I would much rather see these two going against the Street Profits because, like you said, four
Yeah.
guys that are talented,
Well,
four guys that can go.
I mean, you got to think they're definite. They don't want to have them drop too low, but like, let's be real here. They got to challenge the Street Profits at some point because how many tag teams do you have on Raw? You have,
Just these three?
well, you have I would say you have the Street Profits, the Viking Raiders, Ricochet, and Cedric Alexander, and then you have any combination. I mean, it's probably Angel Garza and Austin Theory, but you could sub one of them out for Andrade, I guess, if you wanted to. But that's it. There's no OC. There's no Zack Ryder or Kurt Hawkins. So they're all done. They're all,
It's done.
they're all future endeavored,
Yeah,
unfortunately. So, like, these are the teams you got to mix with. These are the ones you got to play with. So
exactly.
that's what I mean.
And so yeah, so now Jean Paul, we're gonna go to another a rematch that didn't make any sense. There was no reason to redo this. So Charlie Caruso interviews Kairi Sane, and she's asking like tonight, Sane is gonna face Nia Jax once again, but why will the outcome be any different? So Asuka yells and says tonight Kairi is ready for the rematch. So they're dancing off like
Mhm.
Unfortunately, the Kabuki Warriors now are seen as like
There
more
was
like comedy act,
yeah.
like
There, there was one reason why this match was, and it was because Vince McMahon is like, "Screw you, Jean Paul. Screw
yeah,
you, Rory," and he was
it
like,
was
"Screw you."
a
He was like,
burial, and
"Yeah,
it happened. Yeah.
yeah." I mean, Kyrie looked like decent for a little bit, but then all Nia Jax had to do was, be like, "So
You
finishing move
think
and done."
so? Yep, but before we go that, we get to see the guy, and we will keep saying it. At least he has a title in my heart. He beat coronavirus. The almighty Bobby Lashley is in the gym, so he brings Lana into the frame, and she rubs his arm, and then he says he's going
I
to
bet she's
demonstrate.
rubbing the arm.
Yeah, well,
The third arm. Because
hey, I write it in I write it in a PG matter,
yeah.
but you guys put whatever you thought.
Yeah. Because Rusev is done.
Is done them. That is true. And so he says he's going to demonstrate how simple it is to flip a tractor tire once he's warmed up. So Lana says that everyone is already jealous of her, but wait until we see what he can do. So they worked up out of the picture land together. And now we're going to go to Kairi Sane and Nia Jax, as Jean Paul was saying. Kairi, the outfit that she had, that's what she should wear every single time because she looks to me a little racy, a little rebel, a little more like intriguing, like all black and all like leathery and everything. And like you said, she dominated a little bit of the match. At some point, it looked sloppy for me. It's just because like Nia kind of was stumbling, like the knee went a few times, and also Kairi, like when she did like I think that like she pushed her over, and then she hit like the turnbuckle. She hit like one of the knee, the pads. Like Kyrie was kind of like out of it, but in the end, same result as usual.
Do you mean when Nia like kind of buckle bombed Kyrie
Kind of like yeah, and
towards the
I
end?
think she pushed her,
Yeah,
yeah, and then
yeah,
she
well,
hit
yeah.
it.
I think she kind of, yeah. I wasn't sure if she like threw her to the turnbuckle or like, yeah, maybe she just shoved her because who
I
knows
think
if
she
Nia
just shoved
Jax
her,
even
yeah.
knows how to even pick somebody up for a power bomb. But yeah, like I mean, and that's it. When I watched that too, I was thinking, God, Kyrie got so messed up in that. I forget if that was which pay per view that was. If it was TLC,
It was
I think when
TLC. Yeah.
yeah, when she got concussed real bad, and then Charlotte was like, "Oh, I don't care," and continued to beat the shit out of her when she had a concussion. So when you see that, it's like, ooh, that's kind of scary. But like you said, all this stuff is like, are they really jobbing her out on the way out the door? Like they're not gonna just be. I mean, I'm not saying give her a win over Nia Jax, but like, how about you just don't have her on the show, and then if you're gonna release her, just release her. But she survived so far. So hopefully she stays. I mean, if anything, not they're already loaded, but if anything, just put her down to NXT. Do
Yeah.
something with her.
Yeah. No, if you're gonna do something meaningful because you already hosted her burial today.
I mean, I would put her at NXT, but I would make her a face because look how many women are heels now at NXT. Candice
Yeah.
LeRae's now a heel. You have all, and there's no Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley was your biggest baby face, and she's not there. Put another
And you
baby
could
face
easily
down
do a
there.
trade off because, like for example, let's say you put Bianca on Raw, then you gotta get Kyrie on NXT, and then
Yeah.
you keep your brands equal. But
Hmm.
I agree with you. But see, the match to me turned out to be really sloppy, and I
Oh,
mean,
it was not. No, I will not give any Nia. I don't want to be like a Dave Meltzer, but I'm not going to give any Nia Jax match better than like a half a star. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Her matches are awful.
Yes.
She
So
can't wrestle. She just plain and simple can't wrestle.
there you go. It is the easiest way to say that. So Naya leaves Kari, but her knee gives out. So see, I don't know if that was legit, of course, like or like the knee, maybe like she's just coming back to the ring. So
Hmm.
Kari attacks her on the one knee. So Kari knocks Nia Jax into the corner, and she hits a sliding knee. Then Zayn goes up to the top and jumps, but Jax moves, and then Nia hits the Samoan drop for the win. Called the Annihilator. I think that's what it was, right?
Yeah, the Annihilator.
Yeah, Annihilator, yes. So then again, I feel really bad for Kari Sane because she's pretty much if she was buried, now she's like completely buried. So I
Mm.
feel really bad, and then I think they
Yes,
only see us
soon
for better.
she's getting buried so much. Soon she's gonna pop out on the other side of the planet. She's
Yes, yeah.
buried. She's gonna be on like a pop out of Australia. She'll be like, "Hey, I'm
She's gonna
here."
pop in like she's gonna pop in Japan. It's gonna be
Yeah,
like, hey,
yeah,
that's how we do business now. Maybe
yeah,
we
yeah.
cannot
Hope.
send you on a plane. That's
I
how we
mean,
do.
I don't want to see her go, but hopefully that at least she'll be used, to her potential there.
Exactly. She will be respected for what
Yeah,
she really do
exactly.
and what she's done in the world of professional wrestling. Mr. Leegg said Rollins, the Monday Night Raw Messiah, is sitting on a leather chair in his home. He says Drew McIntyre is a brave man, a fighting champion, and he respects that. He says not many know what it's like to be in Drew McIntyre's shoes, but he does. He says that they both beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and they both have a deep passion for the industry. And so he accepts his challenge to Imagine Money in the Bank out of necessity because the WWE Universe needs a leader. He's a proven leader and Drew is not. He says he's going to take McIntyre's title at WrestleMania because he has to. So, yeah, like to me, I did not like this because once again, since when the challenger is accepting challenges from the champion? What the
Yeah,
hell?
and also, why does he, just everything? I mean, I know heels have to be delusional and up their own ass and everything, but I love how he's like, oh, like I'm not doing this because I want to. It's because I have to, and this and that. It's like you have to for who? For you and Vince, maybe, but like fans aren't clamoring for you. Like, dude, You lost at Mania. That's what we wanted. You're a bullshit, heel, bullshit faction. AOP's done. Like, dude, like, we don't want you. And again, like, I know it's all storyline and I'm not getting worked or anything, but, like, it mostly also comes down to, like, what you said. Why is the champion, like, everyone should be challenging McIntyre, and
Yeah.
he should be like, oh, Rollins, everything you said is true. You beat the Beast multiple times. You're one of the only people who's beaten Brock multiple times. You successful cash in at Mania. He can just, go all over Rollins' accomplishments. He can be like, oh, yeah, WrestleMania, that's right. Where you lost to Kevin Owens. No.
Thank
Done.
you. Don't you
Like,
don't you agree when like somebody's heel, right? If it will be the other way around, McIntyre will be throwing all these challenges to Seth Rollins for him to get a championship match. Oh yeah, yeah, you can get me, but if you've beat so and so in this kind of stipulation,
yeah.
so why can't they just do the same thing? I just don't get it. So Jean Paul, bad. I did not like how they're putting this match together. So that's
No.
my only
Oh, no.
my only
I don't
criticism
think.
on that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who, really like, watch and review wrestling, I don't think anybody's really for this match. Everybody's like, yeah, this is, it is what it is. We're getting what we're getting, but that doesn't mean we really like it or agree with it.
Exactly, and also it's because you said there's no more heels in there. So like pretty much they had to use Rollins on that. So now we get to like a kind of like to me fun, but at the same time I don't know if it was necessary promo by the Viking Raiders. Like they're going in the car, they're having a ride along
Oh, yeah,
episode,
no,
and then Ivar is having like a big piece of meat and like he's eating it like a leg of meat and like I don't know where he got that from. But all they keep saying is their accolades, we're legit, we're good, and we're the Viking Raiders, Viking Raiders. Viking
yeah,
Raiders.
to me, they did not seem like they wanted to do this. They didn't seem into it. It didn't seem cool. To me, they should have made this way more like heavy metal, like their entrance theme. It should have been badass. This seemed like something you'd see at a 5-year-old kid's birthday party. I really wasn't into it, but
It seemed
this
to me
is
like there was like a commercial from Popeyes or
yeah,
like a
yeah,
kind
exactly.
of style like
This is what I looked at my phone, when I was doing other stuff, playing video games. This is when I was like, Raw, okay,
Golden Corral,
yeah,
Golden
yeah,
Corral commercial with the
yeah,
Viking Raiders. So
yeah.
Jean Paul, we go to MVP. He's gonna be facing Apollo Crews, and he's on his way on the
Alistair
ring.
Black. I mean, no, no, not Alistair Black. Apollo Crews.
There you go. He doesn't even know who he's gonna face. So good job on that, MVP. So he says that like he's seen a lot of WWE superstars rise and fall in pursuit of Money in the Bank. He says we already seen Daniel Bryan and Aleister Black qualified, and tonight the living legend Rey Mysterio attempts to get in the way. But right now he faces Apollo Crews or Aleister Black in his own his own way, the most talented man in WWE. But he's already told his agent to book a flight to Time Towers because he's definitely gonna win. So this match for like actually not bad because again MVP can make people look good,
Yeah.
and Apollo Crews is a guy that like as of when it comes to wrestling matches, awesome guy. He
Oh
knows
yeah.
what he has to do.
Yeah, I agree. All joking aside, earlier with MVP, this match, he can. I'm not. Again, he's not amazing. He's not going to give you a 5-star classic at this, stage of his career. But this match did what it needed to do. He got the momentum early on. He had the offense. It almost looked like he was going to win a couple spots. You think, oh, Apollo Crews is back to his jobber days. He's done. He's back to going to be the king of catering. But no, he kicks out. He fights on. And you're like, oh, okay, okay. And MVP has like a little, he has name, for me anyway, he has name recognition enough that like Apollo Crews beats him to get into Money in the Bank. Apollo Crews, he went up a little bit. Like his stock went up. It's not
Like his stats in the game went a little bit up. Yeah, yeah. He went
it's
from
not
like a
like
65 to like a 70. Yeah.
yeah, it's not like, oh, Apollo Crews beat No Way Jose, because then I'd be like, okay. You know what I mean? It's the battle of losers. It's like, okay, who cares? But he beat MVP, and MVP has a little bit of stock from, everything that he did back in the day. So it's like, Apollo Crews, to me, I think benefited.
And then finally, they're giving him something to do.
Mm-hmm.
So good on WWE on that. Good job on that. So Apollo Crews batters MVP in the corner, then he hits a big clothesline, and then Apollo connects with like a high angle body slam for a 2 count, another body slam from Crews, then he looks for a frog splash, but MVP gets his knees up, MVP hits like the playmaker. I love that move. really
Mhm.
legit. But then Cruz kicks out, and everybody's selling it. Oh my God, that MVP has put away all these many people, but Apollo Cruz kicked out. So good stuff on that. And Paulo then drops MVP, and then he hits a military press, and then the standing moonsault, and then he hits like his new finisher, like the shooting star press, and then the spin off power bomb for the 1, 2, 3. Apollo Cruz advances to the Money in the Bank. Good stuff on that, like you said. Hopefully he has a good showing. If he wins, good for him. That will be the most like memorable thing he's ever done in WWE. So good stuff on Apollo.
Now, I want to ask your opinion. We can obviously talk about this more when we do previews and predictions, but do you think if any, like you win Money in the Bank, let's say like you personally win Money in the Bank and you're on Raw, do you feel like you should be able to challenge the SmackDown champ as well if you want?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
that's
feel
what the
like
Money in the Bank. Yeah,
that's the way that, because they don't do that anymore, and when they do that, I'm like, to me that really makes it boring, because then it's like, okay, well, it's like, like I said, Drew McIntyre is a babyface champ, so like, if somebody from Raw wins it, are they gonna be a heel? Like, what are you gonna, like, when you try to figure it out? Because you could have something like Apollo Crews could win, and he could be a guy who cashes in on, like, a Braun
on the
Strowman or something.
Fiend or
Yeah,
Braun
or
Strowman.
I mean, if he cashes in on the Fiend, he better not win. That's the
Well,
one match I
like
like that.
the
But
the ruling
yeah,
of Money in the Bank is like you can challenge any title, any show,
yeah,
anytime.
that's
You have a
that.
one
I
year
mean,
to do so.
that's how I feel it should be. But the way that they're really selling it on commentary, they're like, oh, whoever wins can challenge, the heavyweight champion of their brand. So I'm like, you already take the excitement out of it too.
It is true because it's like you can either like challenge Cien Almas or McIntyre. So you're giving already two options, and it's kind of like, I mean, you can do. It will be different if he catches in, on Cien Almas and he becomes the United States champion. That would be
Yeah,
different.
but to
But in the
me,
end, why would you do
I mean,
that when you can go against
yeah,
McIntyre?
yeah, again, no offense. I would be like saying, "Oh, I won the second place ribbon." You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, oh, like
What
okay,
was
like
what's the point?
I
What's the
won the
point of doing
silver
that?
medal. It's like why would you go for the silver instead of going for the gold?
That's what I mean. So,
So
Mr. Leek, we go to another segment with Charlie Caruso. She's interviewing Ruby Riot, and then she says that how the Riot Squad went from being tied and now divided. So Ruby says there was never a squad if you ask her. She needed a double shoulder surgery because she had to carry Morgan and Logan. And now Sarah has one broken arm, and Liv will be lucky if she doesn't break both of them of hers. Then Liv thinks she's all grown up, but tonight she will prove how small and weak she really is. And this is the thing, Jean Paul. I'm really happy that they're actually giving Liv Morgan a chance. I'm very happy of this like new persona that she has, the new attitude, the new. I think she's improved a little bit her wrestling ability because we can see that like she is actually having better matches. And to me, the outcome of this was possibly the beginning for something good for Morgan. Although I
yeah,
said before,
but like I said, why is Ruby Riot done? Like, I don't know who she pissed off when she was out for surgery or as soon as she came back, but she's done. Loses to Asuka. Now, it was a decent match, but she lost, and it's like, okay. To me, that didn't bother me too much because I'm like, at least Asuka's legit. Like,
yes,
Asuka's whatever. I would have had Ruby Riot win here, but I would have had her cheat. I would have had her, maybe the foot on the second ropes. Maybe she took off the pad in the corner and sent, Liv in face first. Do some kind of heel, moves and have her win because I always say when a babyface wins in a feud, doesn't matter how long the feud is, but when a babyface wins, the feud is done. So then to me, Liv Morgan won, so Ruby Riot, this little feud is over. She beat now Ruby Riot twice. One when Sarah Logan was a ref and kind of did the fast count,
yes,
and then she beat her again tonight. So now she has 2 wins over Ruby Riot. So to me, Ruby Riot is done. Like, I'm not saying her career is done forever. WWE can make you a star overnight. All they have to do is just put you in the main event and tell their commentary team, and they don't care if we say, oh, you're not over. This is, bullshit. They say, oh, you're over. You're great.
mhm.
So they don't really care how, like, the fans perceive you. It's only how they perceive you. So, like I said, maybe Ruby Riot isn't finished, but I don't know. I don't agree with it from that aspect. The one thing I do find curious is that these shows, are they pre-taped now or are they live?
No, this one's is live. Yeah, what they're
Because
gonna do is like a really they're gonna have like a schedule. It's like some of them are gonna be live. It's like they're doing one live and then taping the next one. One live taping.
okay,
It's
I
just
was
in
only say
case.
because they mentioned Sarah Logan. Like, why would you mention her again? Unless like we talked about, in our interview with Brady Hicks. Check that out. Like we said, maybe a lot of these wrestlers who they let go, they plan on bringing back once things are kind of back to normal. But it's like they mentioned Sarah Logan by name a couple times tonight, and it's like, why would you mention her when you cut her? Usually the way WWE works is as soon as you're not a part of their, family, which the Rope Break family is a lot better than their family, just saying. As soon as you're not a part of their family, they act like you don't exist.
Yeah, well, like actually that you mentioned this very quick, like two things. After like the thing with the angle with Liv Morgan and the wedding with Alana and everything of Lashley, there was no plans whatsoever about what they were going to do with her. So the fact that she's kind of entering like a little feud is good for her because there were no plans for her. Second, the thing that you just mentioned, there's a lot of rumors that state that like Sarah Logan is going to be reinstated pretty soon in WWE. Why? Because of like being Eric is being her husband, from the Viking Raiders. So there's a lot of push. There's a lot of political push. So he's like, be not shocked if she's back in like the next month or so.
Well, I mean, hey, like I said, we again talked about it in the video when we went over the releases. I would have rather gotten rid of some big money guy like, hey, Goldberg, like your Legends deal or whatever, done. All these Legends deals, done. Hulk Hogan, done. Brock Lesnar, done. He gets like, how much $1 million a show, done. I would have gotten rid of him and then kept all these other guys.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Man,
and then, all these other wrestlers see that too. So I'm happy that Eric, bitched and was like, no, he could even said like, hey, if you don't give me my wife, we're not showing up. Like, Ivar and I, we're not showing up.
He kind of put like a Randy Savage plug right there.
Yeah, which hey, I don't blame him. You know what I mean? Vince is a terrible human, so why not be a terrible one back?
That's what I mean. So let's go back to like Ruby, right, and Liv Morgan. Ruby applies a submission hold to Liv, and then she's trash talking her. But then Ruby beats Liv against the ropes, and then she drops her with a super kick, and that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ruby slaps the head out of Liv, and then asks her to beg her for mercy. But then Ruby hits the ropes, but Morgan hits the rope, and then she hits the assisted flatliner, surprising everybody because she gets the win. 1, 2, 3. Liv Morgan has beaten Ruby Riott for the second time again, like you said. So I'm assuming this feud is over. They should put Liv Morgan in Money in the Bank. That will make the match so much interesting, but they only said there's 2 more spots, and those spots belong to SmackDown. So I don't like that because like she seems to me is like a star in the rising and is interesting for me. For example, I don't need a Nia Jax there. Give me a Liv Morgan. Why?
Oh,
Because I can tell you, she's doing a lot better in the ring, more confident. Her character is way more over than she's ever been. I'm just saying, if you want something better, push Liv Morgan.
Oh, okay? And this is one thing too. Like, if Liv Morgan doesn't get pushed in WWE, I don't know how long her contract is. I don't know if she's there for a lot longer or if it's soon up. But she's a woman who could definitely go to like TNA and or like any other kind of promotion like that, even like NWA, something like that, and really learn from these other veterans and be like, she's one of those who, like, she could become a star in WWE. But if she doesn't, she could really become a star outside from learning from actual wrestlers, not from these, sports entertainment, people. Go out there, and learn, hone the craft, and then come back and be legit. Yeah. I could definitely see something like that because she's young, she's driven, she wants to get good, or get better. I don't think she's bad in the ring. She wants to get better. So that's an option. That's an option too.
I see a lot of potential in Liv Morgan, so hopefully they keep pushing her. That's for me, Jean Paul. That's the thing I gotta say.
Oh,
so we're back in the gym with Bobby Lashley, and he says he's all warmed up. So he says this is no easy task, but it takes an elite athlete to flip a tractor tire. So then he does it with like a lot of ease. He's like, it's really easy. And then Lashley says any athlete can do that. But then how many can do this as he turns like a far bigger tire and then he'll flip it later in the night. So, like completely trash. I don't know why this is on. So then we go to like...
It's like, why is this happening? If anything, you should have had somebody in the gym laughing at him like another wrestler who I can't even book somebody because you fired all the jobbers. So I don't know. Somebody could have been laughing at him. Like, haha, like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you look an idiot. Why is your bimbo wife here? And then he could have had a match out of it. I would have rather seen that than Nia Jax beat Kairi Sane again. You know what I mean? At least build Bobby Lashley up to do
And
Bobby
give us
Lashley
something
versus
to give us a little
McIntyre
bit,
at some point.
Don't give me this because it's not entertaining. So we actually get to know that we had another thing with Howard Finkel because we know of his passing and everything, and now we get to like Rey Mysterio against Buddy Murphy, probably the best match of the night. These two had
Oh,
actually
definitely.
like a good 15 minutes or so. Like they did, like Buddy Murphy, like is a great wrestler, and Mysterio, we know of his capability, and still he can bring it on. It was a good match. It delivered, and in the end, Rey Mysterio gets the win, so he advances to Money in the Bank. The one thing I will say on commentary, Jerry Lawler said, "Oh, the old man." So he called Rey Mysterio old. So I was like, okay, now he's gonna get another time. He's gonna get bashed because of all that stuff that he keeps saying. So he's like, King, can you please shut up?
Well,
Don't
yeah.
be
How
saying
about?
this.
I mean, no, not that Byron Saxton and Tom Phillips are amazing commentators, but like, do we even need the King on commentary? No.
No, no, absolutely not. But like your thoughts on this match, did you like it? I
Oh,
think it's
oh
the best
yeah.
match of the night.
Like I agree 100% what you said. This match was definitely the best in ring action that we got on the entire show tonight. Buddy Murphy is so talented. It's a shame he was, being pushed with the Monday Night Messiah. Now that is kind of broken since AOP is done, like they always are after 2 months of work. So, he's kind of lost in the shuffle. And yeah, this match with Mysterio, to me, this was really one of the only Money in the Bank qualifiers that I felt could have went either way. Yeah, at least on the men's side. And, they opted to go with Rey Mysterio. I think Rey Mysterio, he was in Money in the Bank, but he never won one. So he was like, oh, I want to be Mr. Money in the Bank, this and that. So it's like, oh, okay. Like, they're giving him that because, again, like I said earlier, his contract's soon up. His career might be soon done. So they're going to give this to him. He probably won't win it, but Buddy Murphy probably wouldn't have won it anyway. So it's not that big a deal that he's not in it. But, I mean, legit match, though.
I
Because
watched
it's
it.
hard, it's hard for me to say if this was the right winner. That's kind of why I was going over everything. Like, I don't know if I feel this was the right winner. I guess if you're looking at it in long term, Buddy Murphy probably would have been the right winner. But then why would you have him beat a legend like Rey Mysterio? Like, why
Yeah,
would Rey Mysterio need to be the one to lose? So,
and not do anything with him. So to
yeah.
me, I think they made the right call with Mysterio.
Yeah.
So Buddy Murphy hits a knee to the face and then a brainbuster for a near fall. Murphy then drags Mysterio to the near corner and scales to the ropes, but Ray comes back with a right hand, and then Ray jumps and then he hits the Canadian Destroyer. Now he got used to doing this move, so every time he wrestles, he has to do that. And then from the Canadian Destroyer, Murphy like gets sent into the ropes. So then Mysterio hits the 619 and then the Frog Splash for the win. So good stuff on that. So Mysterio joins Daniel Bryan, Aleister Black, and Apollo Crews for the Money in the Bank ladder match. So good stuff. Like I mean, I anytime that I gotta see Mysterio is a good thing. So now we're going again to Angel Garza and Selena Vega. And they're being interviewed by Charlie Caruso. Then Vega insults Caruso and then says Drew McIntyre won't make it to Money in the Bank because of Angel Garza. Then Vega walks off, but Garza says, he's hitting on Charlie. She's saying like, hey, I'll come back and you can ask me about how my match went. And as he says, he said something in Spanish, but I don't remember really what he said because otherwise I would translate it for you guys. But like, I think he said something like, "Oh, I'll be waiting for you" or something like that. So we move to like Charlotte Flair, and she's of course she has to have a match, but this one went really quick at the expense of like of a common talent of NXT, Kaden Carter. She gets the
Yeah.
match at least. That was legit.
Yeah,
But I'd like to
Caden
know.
Carter, yeah, she looked a little, she had the offense early on. It was kind of like, oh shit, like, is she going to win? No, if Rhea Ripley hits the Riptide early on and she can't beat the Queen, ain't nobody beating the Queen. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, she looked good early on. Charlotte eventually hits a spear, and then the rest was history. Figure
And
eight.
just and done. And done. So yeah, Jean Paul gave you the whole breakdown, so I don't need to go in as specific, but that's what it happened. The only thing I will say, Carter, at least she had like a crucifix bomb, and then she had it on the octopus stretch. Like Kaden Carter is a rising star. He's like in the
Oh,
same I would
definitely.
say in the same category as Shotzi. Like this is the future. Shotzi, Kaden Carter, even Aaliyah, Xia Li. These girls that we are used to seeing on NXT, but like at least they were used, I guess, to job. But it's a good job. You know what I mean? They would say it's a good job because hey, you get your full Charlotte, and hey, she might say, hey, this one is legit. Keep pushing her. So
Mhm.
good stuff for like Aiden. We knew that like as long as that bridge was up, we've been saying even this with Lexi. So it's like bridge is up, done. So
Yeah,
then we're gonna.
and the one thing too, I do like in the match they did mention Io Shirai and stuff. They are hyping up that match, pumping it because that's definitely one. We hope Charlotte loses to Io, but as we get closer, I'm like,
Yeah,
ugh.
absolutely right, my friend. Absolutely right. It's like you can only hope, but when that bridges get done.
Done,
And
done.
talking about somebody that gets done with that bridge every single night is Mr. Andrade Cien Almas, and he comes out with Selena Vega, but he should be coming out with Charlotte, and he's going to face Akira Tozawa, that he loves to be a winner NXT, but like he can only seem to win on Wednesdays because on Monday then he always loses. So this match was
It's
pretty.
not in his it's not in his contract. They're like only one win a week, so he's like, so okay.
So it's like okay, every time. So good match, but like okay, Akira knows how to put good stuff. Like he's a good cruiserweight. Like I said, we talk a lot about him when he beat he beat Isaiah Swerve Scott. He beat Isaiah Swerve Scott on the cruiserweight championship, like the tournament that they had. He did a good stuff, so we knew he was going to do something great here. But of course, Andrade Cien Almas had to win, and Selena kind of played a factor. Of course, see to me, Selena should be just paired with Cien Almas because that's when Cien Almas benefits more from her, and I think Selena is more crucial to him. But like when it comes to Garza and everything, I think Garza should be by himself. And same thing with Austin Theory. I agree with you. They should not be a triangle guys and then Vega. I don't know
Yeah.
why they did this, but I mean, Alma should just be just with Selena because they both complement each other really well. Even they don't need to talk. It's just the way they look at each other. It's just like that level of confidence for all the years that they've been doing
Oh
this.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you definitely don't need it. But again, that they don't know what to do. And also you're not making these guys a stable. If they'd be coming out wearing like the t-shirts or wearing suits, and they actually look like they're a group, they just all wear their own ring gear and it's all like, oh, okay, we just hang around Zelina. It looked like she just picked three random dudes in the locker room, like, hey, come on guys, like let's
It's
go.
like Selena is like a female pimp, and they're
Yeah,
gigolos. That's
yeah,
what it is because it's like
yeah,
she looks good, she's smoking hot, she has the personality out. So I'm like, okay, it's legit, cool. And then I see like three gigolos right there. It's like, oh, you can get two Hispanics, you can get the white dude. He's like, okay,
yeah,
which one do you want? He's
yeah,
like,
exactly.
20
Like,
apiece, 20
yep.
apiece. Here's the room, here's the key, go.
Yep,
So that's the thing
exactly.
I do
I mean,
not
to
like.
me, I agree 100% with that.
But
And it's like that's
Mister
why it looks
like,
so out of place. It's like, but he does the job like always. To me, I can't sing Tozawa's praises enough. To me, he's so good. I mean, I'm not saying he's the best wrestler on the roster or anything, but the dude is a lot better than they portray him. Losing 90% of the time he's out there, but hey, Andrade needed to win more because to me, Andrade is really lost. He's the United States champ, but does anybody care? Every time we see him, he's eating a Claymore kick and he's done.
yeah, it's, like 2 hours ago, he was like getting two claimer kicks. So you're right. So it's pretty much Hammerlock DDT 1, 2, 3. Cien Almas wins. Okay, it's like move on.
Yeah,
So
I guess I don't care because I don't know why you're having the mid card champion be in like a semi kind of feud with the main event champion. Why aren't you having guys like Tozawa and that like actually challenge him for the belt, or have anybody, Aleister Black, Kevin Owens, Ray? I mean, we saw Rey Mysterio 1,000 times, so maybe not him, but Buddy Murphy, somebody. Why don't these people challenge
do other
Andrade?
people, yeah, challenge Andrade. Even like do Austin Theory for all I care, or like it's to start bringing friction between Garza and Andrade, and that will be good. Then again, Selena just needs to be with Andrade because Garza he doesn't need to be paired up with
You
Cien.
know what would be cool if they did something where Charlotte Flair had a segment before them, and as she's walking up the ramp, the gigolo and her men could be coming out, and then Garza could blow a kiss at Charlotte, and Andrade could be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, there you go. You see what I mean?
And
Those,
then
those
it's
little
like, and
things
then
that
he's
like
like,
will
"Oh,"
present.
he's like, "Hey, calm down, it's legit." He's like, "No, it's not legit.
Calm
That's my
down,
woman."
putito.
And then
Calm down,
yeah,
putito.
yeah,
Chillax. That's it. Yeah.
and then and then Zelina can be like, "Hey guys, like, you petitos, both of you, stop." And then it's like, "Oh, okay," but then there's that friction, like you said, build off that. But see, they're not smart enough.
They,
They
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 don't
don't know how
they
to
don't,
build
they don't
story.
go along
So
those lines. That's why. And I'm talking about kind of like an Almas and Selena are going to the back. They're just going back, and then we hit the Street Profits music right away. And this is the worst part of the show for me, at least. They're annoying as hell. They made me not appreciate this match. because these two women actually are very good in the ring. So Bianca Belair comes out, and then she's gonna face Santana Garrett, another talent that is gonna blossom at some point on NXT, I hope. So like they have a match, but unfortunately the Street Profits were on commentary, so that took away a lot for me because like
Mhm.
all I kept hearing is like, oh my god, yeah, 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 baby, yeah, baby, yeah. I'm like, I don't know if she's fighting or I don't know if they're doing something else, but it took away for me the whole thing. It was 5 minutes that I wish I was not alive for those.
I
That's
I
how
could I couldn't have said it any
that was,
better. Like you said, these guys, hey, please stick to wrestling. Do not be on the microphone. I know today was 420, but I don't know what the hell they were. I know that, and I know they want the smoke, but this isn't the kind of smoke that we want here. So
yeah, that was not a smoke that like Rob Van Dam, they will not appreciate any of that. Even Pete Dunne celebrating with Matt Riddle and everything, but we were not smoking the stuff that you were selling because it was not good. But in the end, Bianca Belair wins. Santana Garrett, at least he gets her first exposure on Monday Night Raw. Another cool factor on that. But of course, Bianca like had to hear her finisher, and she gets the 1, 2, 3, the KOD, and then boom, done. So La Bianca gets another good stuff, good showing for her. We'll see. Like I cannot wait for like Becky and Bianca. See, that for me is also like I want Bianca to become the new women's champion. If it's not going to be Shayna Baszler, because Bianca has she has the attitude and everything, but at least it's like is a heel that I can enjoy.
mhm.
It's like hey, like as long as she's not paired up with her husband and his tag team partner, just because like that was not good at all. So, Mr. Leek, we go to main event time now. Drew McIntyre against Angel Garza with Selena and Andrade again. So that's what I'm saying. These guys are like all over the place. It's like go in, go out, go in, go out, go
Yeah.
in, go out. What the
They
hell?
they probably had like a couch or a sofa set right up at Gorilla, and they just sat there and they're like,
It's
oh,
like
okay.
you're on, dude. Let's go. Yeah. So this match it was good.
How long did we have though? Again, oh, big main event. Oh, let's look at the clock. 10:53. Oh, okay. So six
Absolutely
minute,
right.
6 minutes main event, 6 7 minute main event. Okay, sounds good.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So like that's the one thing. Like it was 6 minutes, so it was really fast. So pretty much McIntyre beat Garza. He was trying like Andrade and Austin Theory were trying to help him. We were trying to screw him, but in the end, Claymore kick. He took the pants off and everything. Claymore kick and done. So like
Done.
let's go over like the spots. McIntyre puts Garza in the ring, then he throws Andrade over the barricade and hits Theory with a Claymore kick. Back in the ring, then Drew McIntyre hits a running back elbow into the corner. McIntyre attempts a reverse Alabama slam, but Garza counters, only to be caught by the Claymore kick. So McIntyre wins, and then Garza was busted open by the big boot a little earlier. Then Drew walks up to the commentary team and jokes with them. He's like, hey, do you say good things about me? He's talking to Byron Saxon and Tom Phillips. Like, oh, yeah, we do. We do. So then he goes back to the ring and then he hits Garza with another Claymore kick. And then he yells at Vega to keep sending them in, keep lining them up because they're all going to be Claymore
Mm.
kick again. So that's how Raw goes off the air, Jean Paul.
Claymore kick by Drew.
Yep, pretty much. So like the show had to me it lacked a little bit of energy. Like a lot of the things wasn't they were not interesting. We're not saying it was a bad show. We're
Mm.
just saying that like it was
Yeah,
just
I
a
mean,
lot of
yeah,
people. I've been saying, in the Robrick family, the comments and everything. Thank you so much for doing that. They were saying I'm falling asleep. It's not interesting, and it's just because
yeah,
again, in these shows, kind of like you don't see like the crowd, so there's no energy and everything. To me, Andrade, Austin Theory, and Garza overly exposed. Like more than 5 segments. This is not like but it's gonna go do those routes. So anything, Jean Paul, before we go up.
yeah. I mean, 100% agree with what you said. There's no reason these guys need to be exposed this much. It should be where it's like Andrade's a mid card champ. These other two guys, they're either a tag team or they're in a singles role, and they're challenge. To me, both of them should still be on NXT. Angel Garza and Austin Theory should be in this cruiserweight tournament. They should not be on the main roster, but they're here. They're overexposed, and I'm scared to see what's going to happen for their, if this continues, what's going to happen for their career.
Absolutely. Like
Because we
that's the
saw
one
what
thing.
happens when you overexpose guys like Humberto. Where even is Humberto?
Maybe he's in Mexico.
Murphy,
Maybe they,
he
maybe,
could be,
maybe.
but it's like
You know who he's
Humberto is
with
another
the
guy.
Lucha Bros. They're all right there. They're
Hopefully.
all in quarantine. So like,
Now, see
it's a
that
shame.
that would now that's a legit stable right there. No offense, Pac, you're legit, but
But that's the
let's
Hispanic
keep
team, and that
let's
would be
keep yeah
legit. For
let's keep
example,
it a
that would
little
be a good trio to go against Garza,
yeah.
Theory, and well, Theory kind of is the odd man there, but like Garza, Andrade, and him, so it will be cool. But Jean Paul, like not a great
I
Raw.
mean, but like overall for the show, like I said in the beginning, it wasn't very good. It was very like I know you used the word that almost made you feel like lethargic. You're watching it and you just want to fall asleep because it's like nothing really exciting's happening. But yeah, there was a pretty good Mysterio and Buddy Murphy match, but you could have seen a better match watching, anything. Or, you could have watched an old WrestleMania instead of watching this, or you could have watched, a legit pay per view or any NXT show and saw a match just as good. So if you didn't watch this show, like I always say, there's really no point to even watch the show. Just
Just watch
spend a
us
third.
because we give
Just
you
spend
more.
spend a third of the time that you would watch Raw, just watch Rope Break. So
Exactly. Yeah, exactly because we went almost like an hour. So thank you so very much, family, for watching to every single one of our videos, all the support, everybody subscribing. Jean Paul and I are so thankful to every single one of you. What is going to happen in the next Raw? It's probably going to be more of like now matches between the guys that are going to be involved in Money in the Bank. It's going to be probably an interaction with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. Hopefully, we see
mm-hmm.
Becky Lynch because we need that a little bit on the show. But until then, we will keep bringing you the best content in that we can. Don't forget to watch every single one of the videos. Like I said, interviews, video games, pro wrestling reviews, and more stuff even in the works. Jean Paul,
Yep.
where they can find Road Break in the social media world.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Look for the beautiful logo. Then you found the best podcast in all of the YouTube wrestling community, and just not even YouTube because, like I said, we have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So the best podcast on any social media platform. Follow us all there. We got the news, we got the updates, we got the memes. I don't know what else you could ask for.
Exactly. So, Mr. Leegg, before we go, I think there's one more thing left to say.
To stay.
And that is.
Ah!
Ah!